This block is crazy because you have, to my immediate left, Abbott Kinney, which is voted the coolest block in America.
Did you vote for it as the coolest block?
No, hell no. I knew it when it was West Washington, when you couldn't walk down that motherfucker. Literally. And everybody from Venice know what I'm saying. When you couldn't walk down West Washington, when the Venice Team Post days, when Showline ran Venice Team Post, and like you had the White House with V13, and like there was no like police presence. There was no like random strolls down to the neighborhood. There was none of that. It was like from Abbott Kinney, I'm gonna call West Washington, from Washington to Venice to Lincoln to Rose was locked down. That was all Oakwood. Everything was shut down. You couldn't go through there. I went to school in Samo, couldn't wear my damn Samo hat through Venice walking home because I played on the baseball team.
Hello and welcome to Here in LA, Venice edition. Today we talk to Anthony Brewster, third generation Venice native who everyone calls Brew. You may have seen Brew behind the keyboards at the ESPYs, where he's the musical director and has been for 5 years. You may also have seen and heard him play in the bands of Jack White, The Untouchables, Fishbone, Ika Mouse, Horny Toad, Louis Seidel, Jada Pinkett, and Dilated Peoples. He also makes the music for many of your favorite Netflix commercials in his production studio, House of Vibe. We'll talk about the Hollywood stars that he went to high school with, how he began playing music, how he stays so damn thin and handsome, and where a man can get soul food on the Westside. We are in the patio of the studio of Anthony Brewster. Is that your government name?
That's my government. That is my government.
I'm an Anthony also.
How are you? Nice. Yeah.
I don't know if it really works with black folk.
No. That's why it's just Brew. Now
Brew.
It's just Brew. Yeah.
Brew, do you live in Venice?
I grew up in Venice, right there, 800 Brooks.
Born and raised in Venice?
Born and raised.
Are your folks from Venice too?
Yeah.
What?
Grandparents.
What?
Yeah.
So you're third generation?
Yeah.
Third generation Venice.
Yes, sir.
So did you go to Samo High then?
I went to Samo. I went to John Adams in Samo. Mom's wasn't having it. She was like, "You're going to school in Santa Monica and taking music."
Well, I mean, but you could almost ride your bike there, right? This is closer than Venice High, though.
No, they're about the same.
Oh,
like,
really?
I'm right. It's funny. I'm right in the middle. So like Brooks is, you make a right. It's same. Just probably Venice is a little closer, but it's the same shit. It's just one straight line on a bus. So.
And your mom knew that the music program was better at Samo?
Yeah, and my grandfather was the music teacher, and then he became counselor. So.
Well, then there's no question.
Yeah, they were like, "You're going to school in Santa Monica." They put me on fucking tuba, man.
At how old?
I was like 11, 12, seventh grade. So it was like,
can an 11-year-old play the tuba?
Dude, so nobody knew I lived in Venice. And see, that's the messed up part, is nobody knew I lived in Venice. So I'm catching the bus from John Adams with a tuba. This shit was horrible. So honestly, real talk, the second day of my 8th grade, I was like, look, we're having a meeting with the band teacher, my grandfather, and my mom. And I told them, I'll run away. I don't want to do music anymore. And my grandfather went out and bought me a trumpet that day.
Did you fall into playing trumpet? Was it easy for you?
I fought music, man, all like junior high and high school. I really did.
You fought against it?
Just because I was made to do it. Like I could play piano because I taught myself piano as a kid, and I was playing piano. We had a piano at home. My mom was a piano player. Whole family played piano, whether it was church or whatever else. So it was like piano was just a staple in the home. You know what I mean? So everybody plays piano, right?
It's a normal thing.
Yeah, it was just a normal thing. So, piano was. I couldn't write songs on trumpet. I couldn't write songs on tuba. You know what I mean? I could play a song and sing it on piano. So it was like,
What kind of songs were you singing when you were a young man?
Man, same shit I listen to now. Michael Jackson, James Brown, old school shit. I'm old school.
How old are you?
I'm 55.
Okay, so we're the same age.
Yeah.
My first concert was the Jackson 5.
Yeah, that was one of mine. That and Prince right here at the Civic.
You saw Prince at the Santa Monica Civic?
Yeah. This one, he was back on top of the speaker back then. Doing the whole, yeah. Like,
was he Prince then?
He was Prince then. He's always been Prince.
20 years old, whatever he was.
He's always been Prince.
You knew it.
I knew it. Like, something different about this dude. Something different about this dude. Obviously, the Jackson 5, you know, all your idols as far as, like, the soul and the R&B growing up, you know. Even, you know, we're older, so, like, Temptations, even all that stuff, you know what I mean? Just because of the steps and, you know. So, yeah, I was always old school music head.
Tell me what it was like to be in high school in the early 80s in Santa Monica as a black man. Was Samuel High diverse back then?
Yeah. I mean, I would say it was. My particular year of high school, which is 81 through 83, like, we didn't know what we were in. We were in some shit, but we didn't know. I mean, like, my group of kids, it was like I played baseball with Charlie Sheen.
Right.
You know, was friends with Chris Penn. Like, was me and Holly Robinson were friends. It was like Karen Parsons, Fresh Prince. Me and her were cutest in junior high school together. You know, so it was like the normal shit. Like, Charlie was still Charlie Estevez. He wasn't Charlie Sheen. So, like, he just had a hell of a knuckleball. You know what I mean? And he was a dope-ass pitcher, and we played baseball together. But I had a high school band, and we used to play parties for his dad, Martin Sheen. So that's how we got to know the whole little Malibu, you know. So then, like, Dean came along, Dean Kane, and, you know, so, and nobody was acting back then. They were, you know, we were just all in school doing our shit. Like, Robert Downey Jr. went to class 83. It was like, Samo in the 80s was gnarly because it was all the actors that are, like, doing shit now at the top of their game, and it was crazy.
And they all got famous after high school.
All got famous after high school.
Except maybe Sean Penn,
Sean is older.
Uh-huh.
So I had just missed Sean, so I went to school with his brother was on the wrestling team, so all the sports people knew each other.
Because he was a bigger guy,
You know,
Chris.
I played baseball and basketball, so yeah. And Chris was a wrestler, so, you know, in the locker room, you just know everybody who's doing everything, especially if they're at the top of their game. He was like one of the best wrestlers in the school. So,
where did Samuel High kids go to party when you were in school there? Because I moved here in 1984 as a 17-year-old, and I went to Santa Monica College, and I used to dance at 321, which was 321 Santa Monica Boulevard, which I think now is a Hooters. And
bro, used to see my band there.
Who was your band?
8 Ball. 8 Ball was my band. We were one of the main bands at fucking 321. I swear to God. And then that's where, like, we met Fishbone. That's where we met, like, Untouchables. Because it was, like, mostly, like, ska and, like, KROQ. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now I grew up in Illinois, so I didn't know anything about that music until I got here.
Yeah.
And it was foreign. It was beautiful. I mean, hearing that first Smith song for the first time was incredible. I mean, it was like... It was like... you know, thumbing through an import section at a record store.
Yeah.
You know, music you'd never heard of and from the future. I mean, because New Wave at the time kind of felt like the future. But then I ended up working at Licorice Pizza on Wilshire in West LA, meeting Fishbone. And I remember that first Fishbone record coming out right around the same time that first Red Hot Chili Peppers came out, produced by George Clinton. And even though it was mostly white people working at that record store, we were all like, Fishbone's going to be the biggest band in the whole damn world. Is that how you felt when you first heard them?
Nah, because I was in the Untouchables.
Who were also cool.
So, you know, I had my own ego to worry about. You know?
You were in the Untouchables?
Yeah, that was my band after 8 Ball right out of high school. Yeah.
You were playing keyboards for the Untouchables?
Keyboards, like all that What's Gone Wrong single. That's
Free Yourself.
That's Free Yourself, Wild Child, What's Gone Wrong, all that, yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. So then I played in Fishbone later.
Well, how did you hook up with the Untouchable guys?
Playing in 8 Ball. So 8 Ball, the Untouchables, Chili Peppers, Fishbone. Used to, and a couple other bands from LA used to do, you know, we always used to team up and just do gigs together. It'd be 5 bands on a bill, you know what I mean? And then whoever was the
What a bill?
biggest, oh, it was all the time. like literally. So that's how No Doubt came into the scene. Because the Untouchables, we used to let them open up for us all the time, and we used to play Riverside all the time. So we'd let them open up, you know what I mean? Fishbone would let them open up. So then it became a package. It was Chili Peppers, Fishbone, Chili Peppers, Untouchables, right? That would always be the package because Untouchables were the first band to get signed, basically. So from that, No Doubt we put in front of the whole bill. And then we put Gallagher at the end of it. And we used to do that as a crazy package and go do like Irvine Meadows and like all these crazy places.
Gallagher the watermelon guy?
Yeah, he would headline doing fucking comedy. It was like, but see, that was back in the day when like the genres didn't matter.
Right.
You know, I wasn't going to a hip hop show. I was just going to a dope ass concert.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I wasn't going to a rock concert. I wasn't going to a R&B concert. I was just going to a concert, and there's going to be like the Untouchables, the Cult, and what show did we do? It was us, the Cult, and like Candy, Cameo. You know, and like we're kids fucking backstage in Cameo's dressing room eating all their fucking food, and he's like, man, you gotta do what it takes to me. You gotta do what it takes, and I'm like, man, look, I'm trying to eat the fucking food right now, bro. Like, anyway.
Was Sublime in this at all?
Sublime was there. They were in their whole like Long Beach world. They were doing that whole shit. So it was like more like Sublime, Suicidal, No Mercy, that whole world of like the little bit more hard edge shit. You know what I mean?
You know what's interesting though is I drove Uber for about 5 years after my regular job. For one reason was it was just cool to see every single neighborhood of LA and see how they worked. Even in gated communities at the top of Beverly Hills, no kids riding bikes. We had big wheels back in the day.
Yeah,
no big wheels, no roller skating, no skateboard in front of your own house. Even if you're behind two gates.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this just a culture thing at this point now? Because it can't even be about safety in that neighborhood, right?
Look, that's again, we go back to the technology. You know what I mean? It's just like PS5 is a mug. You know what I mean? Like Xbox is, woo, the graphics. You know? These kids are gaming now. It's like so I can be in my room.
Instead of actually riding a bicycle down Ocean Boulevard,
I'm gonna play a video game with me riding a bicycle.
That's right.
Yeah. Straight
Isn't that
up.
a little crazy?
Hey, NFT, right? Isn't that where we're at now?
So, do you have? Are you like how your grandparents and your mother was about music for your children? Like they've got to play. Like it's not even a question.
No, I mean I can't say that the rule in our family was the oldest was always made to take music, and I was the oldest. So you know, next was my son, and both of my sons started doing music, but you know they got to high school and wanted to play football and sports, and you know friend influences. So I wasn't gonna be that parent to like make them take music if they were interested, you know. But then my 4 daughters, they love it. They know from day one out of the womb they want to be musicians. So I kind of don't have to worry about that. Like, you know, I got one daughter who I'm out there doing live shows and commercials with me, so she's getting paid from that. I got another. My 15-year-old has a single coming out like next week, I think it is. So.
Now a lot of actors who make it big say that they don't want their children in that business. Doesn't sound like you're like that.
No, because, I mean, even compared to back then and now, it's different. You know what I mean? I mean, you can be your own business. You know, you can, like, I think the record company is dead. Sorry, record companies, but I think the record company is dead. Like, the concept of, like, yo, like, okay, Is your record done? Are the songs written? Is it mastered? You got dope producers on it. You got the dope musicians. You know, what are your live shows doing? What are your numbers? What's your Instagram? What's your following like? Okay, you got videos out. Okay, you got your mastering done. All right, cool. Yeah, we'll put you out. Like what?
He's already out.
You know, they are like, if I did all that, all I gotta do is just, you know.
What does the label say that they can do for these people nowadays?
I mean, it's always about distribution and anything. You know what I mean? But like, you know, back
streaming,
then you were developed as an artist. You know what I mean? Like back then when the Untouchables were signed, we had like Jerry Dammers from the Specials coming in. You know what I mean? I mean, Fishbone had George Clinton. You know, you had like these dope producers that like knew what they were doing and had. I mean, my first lessons in the Untouchables from Was Not Was.
Don Was?
Don and David Was, and it was like I'm at their house, like this 17-year-old kid, like shaking their head, like, and I didn't know who the hell they were. You know what I mean? I got Pee Wee and you know, they're trying to tell me how to sing, and I'm like.
I've only heard good things about the Was brothers.
Oh, they're dope. I mean, they're dope. They're dope. Again, like, it's one of those situations of like, ooh, I wish I knew that David and Don took me under their wing and were like, hey, kid.
And you're in incredible shape. First of all, you look about 30.
Hey.
You're thin.
Hey.
I mean, like me, there's a little gray in there, but that's the only thing that tips you off about your age. Do you hike?
No, man, I play basketball all the time.
Okay.
I played basketball before I got here.
Okay.
Yeah.
For about how long a day will you play basketball for?
3 hours. Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
Usually 10 to 1.
And you don't have an Apple Watch on, so we don't really know how many steps you're getting in when you're playing these
average
games.
About 7 miles because my son runs with me and he runs with his Apple Watch, and so we're running about 7 miles a day. So
is this half court basketball?
No, full court. Full court.
Where do you play?
Right here, Santa Monica at the Twin Towers, right there, right on the beach. Most beautiful place in the world.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you ever play in the Venice basketball?
I used to, but too much arguing down there.
Yeah.
It's just too much. They put the bleachers there.
That ruined it.
That ruined it. Everybody's trying to show out. Nobody's trying to win. And it ain't about your crossover, bro. Make a shot. You know?
Do you have a crossover?
I got a crossover and a shot.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of shots your shot?
I'm a three-point shooter.
From the side?
Anywhere.
Top of the key?
Anywhere.
They can't get you?
Anywhere.
How's your left hand?
Anywhere. Left hand is nice. Left hand is nice. My whole game is nice. For real.
Pat Riley would like to know, how's your defense?
My defense, you know, I reach. You know, you beat me that play. But
Do you call fouls when you're out in the street?
Not a lot. Not a lot. Only when I'm hurt. Like if you hurt me, I'm calling foul. But other than that, you know, I'm gonna call your foul for you. Like if I foul you, I'm gonna call foul.
There you
know
go.
What I mean? But I try not to call. It just slows up the game because whatever's happening and whatever you did probably didn't affect whatever the outcome is about to be. If that makes any sense. Like if I'm going by you and you foul me as I'm dribbling past you, then I'm still gonna just dribble past you. So it's just
and one.
Yeah, yeah.
Your production company is called House of Vibe.
House of Vibe Productions. Yes.
Talk to me about Vibe. What does that mean to you?
What does it mean to me? I think that is sometimes people get. Well, I'm gonna start at the beginning. You know, it's not about the perfect song. It's not about the perfect performance. You know, it's about the perfect vibe. So, like, no matter what that song is, no matter what that feeling is, like, we've had people come in on an air saxophone, I swear to God, and hop in with the regiment horns on a solo trade-off. And it's literally like Leon. Go to the girl. Nothing. Crowd fucking going crazy. See, that's a vibe. They didn't hear any notes. That was the vibe. And so it's creating those moments. It's those moments. It's therapy. It's you know, all the musicians happen to be dope. All the people that we play with happen to be dope. You know what I mean? But it's not about that in the beginning. You know what I mean? It's
well, and also that freedom. That's why you play live, right?
That's why I do. I can't speak for all. You know what I mean? Like, I've played in groups where the parts are the parts, the regimen is the regimen, and that's how it is. That's how it's played. No variation of it, and you know, and it's still great. But at the end of the day, for me, you know, making a choice, you're going, well, am I going to do that for me, or am I going to do that for you? If I'm doing that for you, then I'd rather do this for me. You know, and that's the freedom of our style of music. You know,
is it hard to get that live vibe where the audience is reacting with you in the studio?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. It's different. I mean, energy is everything. You know what I mean? Like, ironically, in the last couple of years, because of COVID, we've gotten used to doing a lot of live streams. So it's a different connection. Even me just talking to a crowd that's not in front of me, but I know you hear me. You know, like, so it's for, you know, just reflecting that in a different kind of way, because it's you're not gonna say a funny joke and hear somebody laugh. You know, so okay, what's the approach now? Okay, so, you know, and then, which I think gave us the you know, I don't know what you want to call it, but the little push to stretch musically, because we can't do it with me dancing in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you're dancing in your living room because I can't see you. You know, so it's, you know, it's just a different kind of trust, different kind of energy. You know.
What's the difference between the Venice vibe and the Santa Monica vibe today?
Money? No, actually, I can't even say that, because it's fucking evening up. I don't know, man. I guess there ain't much difference, except for, like, you know, more people now in Venice because of your roots than you do in Santa Monica, because the people that are in Santa Monica were from Santa Monica have now left, so it's all like new folks.
I feel like when you were in high school at Samo High, Venice had an undisputable edge to it.
Yes.
Which there's still some elements of it in Venice. Meanwhile, ain't no edge in Santa Monica anymore.
No, and you know, Santa Monica Police Department is a hell of a drug. Like, Santa Monica Police Department doesn't, they're their own, you know, they're their own district, just like Culver City. You know, they're not like LA Unified, or they're not LA District. So it's just like Pacific Division and West LA. You know, they're like real laid back.
Oh, Santa Monica is.
No, I say Pacific Division and LAPD.
Right.
It's to me more laid back than Santa Monica. Culver City will pull you over and be the first to tell you off record, yo, bro, you know we ain't got shit else to do. I've been told that. I got pulled over twice in Culver City. I promise to God on my soul. Twice in 3 weeks in a drive-thru. Paying for food. Cops come by, see us. I was like, dude, they're about to pull us over.
In the drive-thru.
They wait for us to pull out of the drive-thru and then hit their lights and pull us over twice. And I'll be specific. Me and Tony Tarasco, who is the excuse me, one of the homies I grew up with, and like coming home from gigs, you know, he's a professional ex-baseball player. He's a coach now. But it's just like, dude, I'm with a professional baseball player, and like I'm coming home from a gig. like in Jack in the Box and
I know that Jack in the Box on Sepulveda.
Yeah, no, on Centinela, the one here on Centinela in Washington. Yeah, but then when it was Del Taco right here on Lincoln in Washington, and it's just like twice in 3 weeks.
Did you have tints on your windows or something?
No, just two black dudes in a car at 2:30.
Wow.
Literally, and the dude he got into a conversation with my buddy because they played baseball together. Then the other cop was asking his buddy, "Why is your buddy so tense?" Like, man, because I got pulled over in a fucking drive-thru. What do you mean, why am I so tense? You know what I mean? And I'm hungry and my food's getting cold, bro. So, anyway.
Your timeline shortened while I shine important like a prime time Jordan. Spit my prime time hoping dumb and blind minds open in your fine mind broken when quoting them for your close friends. You political pillow biters and riddle writers while people are panthers and rebel fighters a level higher. Ain't got the slightest idea how to be like us. Clash with titans and now your body appears lifeless. Some of your clones trying to keep up with the Joneses. Kardashians, Obamas, Mayweather's, Carters, and Combs.
Okay, so you're at the ESPYs now, and all the, I mean, you got football players, everybody's there.
Yeah.
And you get to play your own music. I mean, talk about freedom. That must be incredible.
With my friends.
Who's giving you this kind of permission and freedom?
Jeff Smith, the executive producer. He is, I've known him for, almost 30 years. So it was a situation where,
was he at one of the record labels that you were working for?
No, he was actually the tour manager of Hootie and the Blowfish, and we toured with Hootie and the Blowfish. And
Who toured with them?
I was with Dave Wakeling and the English Beat and Rankin Roger back then. Yeah. So we toured with Hootie. Hootie ended up taking a liking to us, and then literally just like, get on the bus. And like we went on tour for like 5 months after, not even playing a note. They just pulled it, and like I met Jeff, hung out, and we just all became friends. We became family with Hootie. It's crazy. We've been friends for like years now.
Which brings me back to that old saying that they used to say about Hollywood. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
It's who you know.
You knew your who was Hootie.
My who was Hootie. I was hanging out with Hootie. People were like, what?
Because of the English Beat.
No, like everybody, the whole crew, like the crew, the band, everybody's they're just dope as fuck. And it was it was always a cool experience. They showed me how to like do business right.
Which are you talking about?
Hootie and the Blowfish. Like,
Hootie was doing it right from the road.
Like, because like, okay, they had a reliable crew who were also their friends, who were also responsible for them. You know what I mean? So it was a two-way streak. Like, even when Darius did his solo stuff, he would take the exact same crew so that everybody could keep working. You know what I mean? Like, people don't do that shit.
They don't.
You know, like, I'm getting away from everybody. Like, I'm going solo. They're all family. You know what I mean? Then they go back and they do their Hootie stuff, and like, you know, they taught me how to like separate church from state. You know what I mean? And like really understand like the big part of like what it is to like be responsible for your shit that you're responsible for.
So you get this gig, and he's like, I mean, does he really say, play whatever music you want? I prefer your original music, is what he says?
It has to be original music.
Because of rights and stuff?
Yeah, because of rights. So
that was a selling point that you had your own music.
We got I mean, and he was like, dude, this is your gig as long as you want it.
How long have you done it for?
It's been 5 years now, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, and then even before that, like my friends were doing it the previous 5-6 years before that. Like Fish has been doing it for the last, 12 years or so.
I guess I'm never paying attention to the drummer of the ESPYs.
Yeah, that's Fish.
Which brings me to another adage about LA. It's a small town.
Yeah. Yes. I tell people that shit all the time. I swear I tell people that all the time. especially people who aren't from here. You know what I mean? We have friends that like aren't from here and they come here, and like with all due respect, I can't hear about your complaint about something that we've dealt with here our whole life. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, clubs in Hollywood suck. Yeah, no shit. Pay to play? Yeah, no shit. Why do you think we don't play them? Now, why do you think we're looking for like 14 below in the Temple Bar? And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why. So, you know, but then people sell out and want to do those gigs and play those and then not make no money and then complain about them. And like, now LA has a bad rap. Now it's LA's fault. Now it's like, okay, all right.
Who is your favorite people that you met at the ESPYs?
Dr. J. Dr. J, hands down.
He was the man back in the day. Now
J,
that's a guy that nobody talks about nowadays.
Yeah, they don't know.
And it's sad because they'll talk about him when he dies.
Yeah.
Which is my problem with Pete Rose and some of these other people. Don't honor them after they're dead.
Dr. J is a coach in the Big Three. He is. He's a coach in the Big Three. He's one of the coaches in the Big Three, dude. This is why I watch the Big Three. They got like, it's crazy. They got like Oakley. They got like Gary Payton. They got like, damn, bro, we used to watch y'all. Like, okay.
My life, my life, my life, my life, sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine. Sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine.
And this is
My life, my life, my life, my life.
Where'd you meet your wife at?
I met my wife over a friend's house. I was mixing a song for him, and she was visiting from Boston, and came over, and it was her birthday. And shit, I met her that night, and we've been together ever since.
Love at first sight.
No. I mean, there's a long ass story that goes with it. You know, like for me, just full disclosure, like I was coming out of like a 14-year marriage. Like I was playing with like Jada, playing with Fishbone, playing on the BET live show. Just bought a fucking $500,000 house in the Valley. Had my 2 sons from previous marriage, and you know. Make a long story short, 9/11 changed everything. Because I was
Really?
supposed to be on that flight. Me,
No.
Fish. Yeah, we were on tour with Reese with Third Eye Blind. So
Flying to New York?
So September 10th, we're in Dulles Airport, which is the end of our tour.
In D.C.?
We have 8 e-tickets to fly back to the house. They tell us the tickets are canceled. We can put you on fucking flight 77 out of fucking Dulles and fly to... And blah, 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 blah. It stops at 9:30, stops in Texas, and then flies to... And true story, God and Fish as my witness, I said, yo, dog, I ran out of weed. I don't want to sit on standby. I mean, I'd rather sit on standby. I don't want to stay in D.C. another night. The weed is shitty. I don't want to hang in another go-go club. And like, and Fish was like, well, I just had a baby. He had just had a baby, so he was like, I'm trying to get back to the house now. So me, him, Tony Tarasco, and the sound man, this dude Kez, sat on standby. So the artist, Reese, Corey Smith, those two, and the 2 background singers caught a train back to New York. So we know they're going to New York. We're sitting on DC, you know, in DC, waiting to get on standby. We're the last 4 to get on standby. September 10th. Get home. I'm like, oh, it's late. I'm gonna sneak in bed, and my girl's gonna wake up. I'm expected tomorrow, and I'm gonna be here already, and she's gonna be happy as fuck, and it's gonna be dope. So then, you know, I wake up, and the TV's on, and tower's on fire. And, you know, I'm just waking up, and I can't see it. I'm looking, and damn, the tower's on fire, you know, and show the replay of the plane hitting. Boom! What the fuck? And right, and my girl, she's fucking has my attention. She's shaking, right, and she's not saying shit, right. So I know it's serious, right. So they show the second plane, pow, and they show the replays, pow. So I fucking call Corey on the phone, the manager, because where they went is to the Embassy Suites, which is right across the street from the Twin Towers. So now I'm watching it on TV. I know he's right across the street. The tower collapses and my phone disconnects. My now ex-wife freaks the fuck out. So now we're not together. Long story short, now I'm going into deep depression. I don't want to do any music. I don't want to play with this. I don't no Fishbone, no band, no music, no House of Vibe. I'm done with this shit. And so 3 years later, my boy asked me, dude, just come over and mix a song. You don't need to play a note. Just mix it. Just put on headphones and mix a song in the corner. So reluctantly, I go over there, put on the headphones. 30 minutes later, there's this chick sitting on the couch. He's like, yo, bro, now we can go party. I'm like, absolutely not. So my wife is sitting on the other couch. She goes, come here. She goes, listen, it's my birthday. I don't want to be here any more than you do. Why don't we just hang out and just keep each other company? And I was like, all right. Then I told her my name. And then finally she was like, all right, cool. You know, then we just started hanging out, and like I just developed this trust, man, this love, because she eventually found out what I was going through mentally, what I'd been through. So that she knew of all of my music, and she's like, I'm not sweating you. I'm just care for you. I'm here for you. And it just, that relationship just nourished, and I just loved her forever for that. You know what I mean? And she's the one who like eventually got me back into music. You know, but when I came back, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do it the way I used to do it, because, you know, before it was like shit. It was drummer for Fishbone, bass player for, you know, we had Foley on bass, bass player for Miles Davis. I got the guitar player for Erykah Badu. I got the keyboard player for Beyonce. Got Macy Gray's horn section. Got like Dave Hollister and like Sam Patterson and Charlie Tuna from Jurassic 5, and like, you know what I mean? Like that was the band. It was like all stars. It was like you had to be an all star. You know. So then when we came back to this shit, it was like, oh wait, what happened? You hit somebody with a folding chair that was tripping with your daughter? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna fuck with you. Oh, your mom died and you wanted to quit music and you have okay, cool. All right, so you're gay, and then you feel like the church is denouncing you and you feel like God doesn't love you. No, I'm fucking with you. Come here. You know what I mean? And so that's the way everybody was chosen. You know, and that's like the current band now. It wasn't about like the accolades. It wasn't about the resume. It wasn't about like the all-star part of the all-stars anymore. So that's where, you know.
Has that worked out?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, my life.
So much time I've been doing this all my life. I've contributed so much time.
Let's wrap up with food. I don't know of any soul food on this side of town.
No, they took all that shit. They took Uncle Daryl's, they took Aunt Kizzy's, they took everything.
Maryland Crab House used to be over here on Pico.
I mean, the closest thing you're gonna get to soul food is just right here at the corner, which is Blues Barbecue.
Is it okay?
Baby Blues is fire. You know,
okay.
It's a little expensive, but it's fire. You know, it's but you can't get like, you ain't gonna get no fried catfish. You know,
why not?
You get some grilled catfish. You ain't gonna get no fried catfish. It's hard to get some fried catfish on this side of damn Sepulveda. It's crazy.
But here's what's crazy to me about it. Okay, I understand. We are the minority on the West Side, black people. We are the minority. But white people do like soul food if it's packaged right. Yeah. If you put up a Roscoe's over here, there'd be a line.
You can go find some shit at Fox Hills Mall.
But I'm saying over here.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to go to Fox Hills Mall.
See, isn't that crazy? Because as a West Sider, you just learn to claim further shit as your own. So like Fox Hills is like, all right, fuck it, that's Westside. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you know, Culver City Projects. Yeah, all right, cool.
Well, soon they're going to claim Inglewood. But here's what I'm saying though. Again, and maybe we're to blame. Maybe black people are to blame. Because it's just packaging. It's just marketing. Who doesn't like fried chicken?
Yeah.
Who doesn't like mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese?
We have Featherstones here on Abercrombie, but then they think they made that a yogurt shop or some shit.
It's called Fetish Stones?
Featherstones.
Featherstones.
Yeah. It was a barbecue spot my buddy had there. But like the closest thing again is gonna be Baby Blues right here. You know, our soul food is like Gilbert's and La Cabana. We're Mexicans around here, bro. Like you ain't getting no soul food. I'm straight Latino. All my kids are Latinos, speaking fluent Spanish. No, real talk.
They're really speaking Spanish?
Yeah. I sent them to immersion school, so they're like they're all fluent in Spanish.
That's the way it ought to be.
Yeah.
I mean, more than half of the people here are Hispanic.
Yeah.
Or Latino. I don't know which one to say.
I think either one is fine.
Okay.
You know.
That's good that your kids know. I mean, I know French. What's that going to do for me? Nothing.
You do good with some French though in the restaurant world. my wife speaks French. You know.
Why did Featherstones not work on Abbot Kinney?
I think the block just turned around and it just got it got.
Talk about a mall.
It got
That seems like the 3rd Street Promenade to me.
You said they got fucking madmen's on Abbot Kinney now. I'm like, really?
Well, since you brought it up,
I mean, dude, this shit's whack. Listen, we're old school around here as far as like nothing was broke. Like the Underground Railroad was working just fine. You know what I mean? So now you want to come and bring your little trains on the block and then like charge me extra to get on your fucking train for the same ride? Like, nah.
Because once you had your hookup,
you're not even community based. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. You're not community based. So it's just like.
And they promised that. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Don't promise it.
Don't buy no damn $75 eighth, bro, because
right.
you say it has whatever. It's like it ain't getting me no higher than fucking. You know what I mean? Oh shit! This shit got me high for 2 days.
Do you?
I ain't never smoked no weed like that.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Do you remember what eighths cost when you were in high school?
When I was in high school, like, well, they were like $20 bucks, $25.
Was it good?
No.
How much was the good weed?
The good weed was like $40.
Okay.
30. No, I remember 30, and then I remember it was like, it went to 35, and I was like, yo, man, that shit go to 40, bro. I'm going to stop smoking. Like, yo, I remember that. Like, yeah, if it go to 40, bro, I'm done. Oh, $40? All right, here, man, here.
I was in college in UC Santa Barbara, and I wrote an opinion piece called "Don't Pay $40 for an eighth."
Yeah, see?
Because if we all don't,
yeah, exactly.
Talk about the Underground Railroad.
It's only It's so funny. Value is just whatever the hell you say it is.
Well, it's a black market.
Yeah.
So we determine the price.
Yeah.
Right. So here's what I'm leading up to. Can you believe you can still buy $40 eighths?
Yeah.
And they're better than the $40 eighths of the 80s.
Oh yeah.
What else exists in the world that is better at the same price as the 80s?
Yeah.
Maybe bass guitars.
Now the Fender Rose
Keyboard.
you can get a Fender Rose back to like $300.
Back then.
Now it's like, $5,600, $7,500, $8,000 for a B3, $10,000, $12,000. You're like, yo, thanks, D'Angelo. Thanks, bro. Thanks, Beck.
Is there anything that you want to say about Venice that we haven't delved into yet?
Man, people ask me where I live, bro. I tell them I live at the end of the rainbow. Take the 10 west, make a left. Like, it is the most beautiful place on earth. I've traveled the earth, literally the earth. I've traveled the earth, and there's just no place. And it's not because of the buildings. It's because of the people.
Yes.
You know, it's because of the people. So those same people have to pass down that same mentality. You know, that's community. That's love. That's like, you know, that's my whole thing about God. Like, okay, if God is love, if I'm showing you love, then aren't I showing you God? You know, so that's what my grandparents taught me living here. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't even about the diversity for me, because like I was the only black kid. You know, my on my mom's side, my grandfather was Filipino, so he was the only Filipino man in Venice. It was all Mexican and black, and then this little Filipino man. So everybody knew me because fucking I'm the dude who had the Filipino grandfather. I had the good hair. And I'm like, okay, I ain't got no fucking good hair, but okay. You know, so it's about like remembering that, like what Venice is, you know what I mean, and what it's about, bro, because it's there's a lot of heritage and there's a lot of history, and people are trying to like wipe it off the map and like make it all of these other beach towns, and it's just like, you know, for that corporate gain, and it's like that's whack, you know what I mean? There's so much from Venice and Santa Monica, you know what I mean? Like POP and fucking Santa Monica Pier, and even the Venice Pier, and just the Circle, the Venice Canals, like all of that shit. All that shit is like historic, you know. And it's like there are people that are connected to all of that, you know what I mean? And some of those people still have family that are still here trying to like live in the changes, you know what I mean? And it's just, you know, it just has to remain community. You know,
20 years from now, what will Venice look like?
It's gonna look like Santa Monica. It's gonna look like Santa Monica. You know what I mean? You got movie stars moving here now. Some of my friends, you know what I mean? They live buying houses on the canals. You got damn president's kids that are buying houses on the canals. You can't go down there you got to get through Secret Service to go fucking walk on Venice canals now. It's like, so it's, you know what I mean? It's different, you know? Let's go back to square one. Let's just make some goddamn good music venues. You know what I mean? And start with some community there. Like, that's where we all used to hang out and like see each other. You know what I mean? There ain't no more skating rinks. There ain't no more like, you know, football games with schools against each other. Or there ain't no more block football games. There, you know, everybody's on their video games. Like the only, you know, the community thing and the gathering is going to be through music. Mm-hmm. You know, the music and entertainment, bro. That's like, that's where people come out, you know. They come out for sports, but they fight at sports games. You know, they come out to fight at sports games. They come to music to fucking love. And it's just just come out and like get back to that, you know.
I really appreciate you spending time with me today.
Yes, sir. Got you, bro.
Thank you, my man.
Yeah.
All right. Wasn't he great? You know who else is great? Our Patreons, who warm our hearts. When you stoke us, you're saying, Tony, Jordan, here's a box of Girl Scout cookies. Here's a sack of Girl Scout cookies. Or, here's my COVID relief check. I don't need it. Every dollar you flow our way goes right back into what you're hearing now. And it helps keep us and this insane project rolling. So shout out to our Patreons. Nancy Rommelman, Allie Miller, Sean Atlow, Matt Mills, Sean Wallace, Greg and Molly, Jamie Taylor, George Wright, Mark Johnson, Kira Ann, Barney Granke, and Ben Welch. Want to hear your name at the end of next week's show? Go to patreon.com/hereinla and give till it hurts. We've also started a new thing. You've heard of angel investors. Those are people who get in early and stoke a new venture. This just happens to be a new venture. We're calling this Angelinos. All of our angel investors are Angelinos. To be an Angelino, all you have to do is PayPal us $25 or more, and we will list you in the Here in LA website forever. You will also be given a number to denote how early you got in to make this dream come alive. For example, Angelino number 1 is Allie Miller. Number 2, George Wright. Number 3, Rita Joanne. Number 4, Jason Suter. Just PayPal your hard-earned cash to busblog@gmail.com. Want to support us, but you're broke AF, as the kids say? Well, you can still help. Post your favorite episode on your Facebook. Tweet something nice about us. Kiss your girlfriend on the cheek and say, I love you almost as much as I love here in LA. You can also just tell your friends. Tell them how Here in LA is spelled, and that it's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Google. Chicago just came flying out of me. Here in LA is produced by myself, Tony Pierce, and a man with a mean crossover dribble himself, Jordan Katz. Editing, mixing, and music supervision by Jordan Katz. Songs by Orgone and Jordan Katz. We are truly going to every neighborhood in LA. We have 3 more episodes to do here in Venice. Then we're headed to historic Filipino town. If you know someone as cool as Brew in historic Filipino town, tell them to write me at tony@tonypierce.com. Special thanks to Cindy for creating the logo, Jen Adams for inspiring me to do this in Kim and Os's backyard, Hootie and the Blowfish for showing Brew how it's done, and Jordan for introducing me to Brew. Go to our website, hereinla.com, for videos of Brew doing his thing in his studio using Outputs Arcade. And I filmed it all. Don't forget to vote!